Hey guys, Allison here with Southland Goldens. I'm here with Gumbo for your final training video. So we're going to use this video to go over the verbal cues and hand signals that Gumbo knows. It's super important that you stay consistent in using those training commands. Kind of helps that transition from us being the trainer to you guys being the trainer. If you have any questions after this video, I'm happy to answer. You're going to see I have my training treat bag right here. I also have a clicker. Gumbo's doing fantastic. You're not going to have to use the clicker for long. We use the clicker, you'll hear it click, and that is to mark the behavior that Gumbo does that we are asking. It just lets him know, hey, I've completed the task that I've been asked. We also will say yes when he completes that task. So you can slowly take this out. Like I said, he's doing really good without it. And just take it out and just say yes to mark those behaviors. So I'm going to go over each one. We're going to break it up into different segments so that you can have something to go back to look at just in case you ever have any questions once he gets home. But you ready, Gumbo? You ready, big guy? All right, let's get started. The first command we are going to go over is sit. Obviously, this is a super simple task for Gumbo. We use the verbal cue sit. For the hand signal, we take our right hand by our right thigh and raise it up. So it's going to look like this. It's going to say Gumbo, sit while we're doing that. All right, ready, Gumbo? Come here. Gumbo, sit. Yes. So you'll see as soon as his bottom, as soon as his bottom touches the ground, I click, I say yes, and then I give him the reward. You'll also notice throughout this training video that I'm going to tap my side and I'm going to say okay. That just releases Gumbo from the task that I've asked. I always want to make sure that he stops or he's completed what I'm doing on my terms, not his. So I'll always release him. I'll always say okay. All right. So again, Gumbo, here. Gumbo, sit. Yes. Good boy. And Gumbo knows he's to stay seated until I release him, which is okay. And then he's free to run around and do whatever he would like. So again, Gumbo, sit. Yes. Okay. Gumbo, sit. Yes. For the down command, what we are going to do is we're going to ask Gumbo to sit, and then we're going to immediately turn our hand over, and we're going to lower it down, and we'll say Gumbo down. So the verbal cue is Gumbo down, and the hand signal is to take your hand and lower it to the ground. All right, Gumbo. Gumbo, sit. Down. Yes. So as soon as he lays all the way down, that is when I click, I mark the behavior, and I say yes. Now he also knows that he is to stay in the down position until I release him, which is okay. And at that point he's free to walk around and do whatever he wants. So again, Gumbo, sit, down. Yes, good boy. And you'll see that I'm marking this behavior that he is staying to lay down. That is just teaching him, hey, patience, stay here until you're released. Which is okay. Gumbo here. Gumbo sit. Down. Yes. Good. We'll also go over, down on the place board. Gumbo, place. Sit. Down. Yes. Good. And again, he is to stay there in the down position until he is released. Okay. The next command we are going to go over is the place command. So we use this for the Kuranda beds that we sent you. It can be his dog bed. Typically works better if it's something that's elevated off the ground. So what you're going to do is you're going to say his name, and place, and you'll walk over and point to it. Now, if you keep it consistent in your home and you keep his place board in the same location, very quickly he will pick up when you say Gumbo place where he is supposed to go. Until then, because he's not going to be familiar with your home, you're going to need to walk over, say his name, and place. As soon as all 4 paws are on the place board, you're going to click, say yes, and reward. So it's going to look like this. Gumbo place, and stay. Yes. So Gumbo knows that when I give him the place command, that he is to stay there until he is released. And again, to release him, you're going to say, okay. And that just means Gumbo's free. He can stay on the place board, he can get up, whichever he prefers. For training purposes, I'm going to call him back over. Gumbo here. Good. Stay. Okay, again, so for place, we're going to say, Gumbo, place, and stay. Yes. Very good, boy. Very good. Very good. Okay. Okay. Gumbo here. Good. Stay. So again, if you're in your home and you've got somebody coming to the door and you want your dog to go to a place that they're going to stay while someone enters, what you're going to do is you're going to say, Gumbo, place. Yes. So once all 4 are on there, that's when we mark that behavior and give him a reward. So again, for place, it's just simply point at the place board, say Gumbo place. As soon as all are on there, you're going to click and reward. He is to stay there until he's released, which is okay. Our next commands are stay and here. So for stay, what we do is we say Gumbo stay, and we hold our hand up like a stop sign. He's at the point now where I can turn my back, walk away. I don't have to maintain eye contact with him. Now when we call Gumbo to us, we're going to lower our right hand by our right thigh, and we're going to say Gumbo here. What we want him to do is we want his nose to come all the way and touch our hand. As soon as his nose touches our hand, that is when we click and mark that behavior. He also knows as soon as his nose touches, he is to sit. The reason we teach the dogs to come all the way to us, we want his nose to touch our hand in case there's ever an emergency, say that there's traffic or a stray dog or something and we need to get a hold of our dog quickly. We want it to say Gumbo here, his nose touches, and we can reach around and grab his collar if need be. So the way it's going to work, first I'm going to tell him Gumbo stay. Stay. Hold my hand up like a stop sign. Gumbo here. Yes. Okay. So you saw there that his nose came all the way to touch my hand. I'll try to do it a little bit closer so you can see. Gumbo here. Yes. So as soon as his nose touches, that's when I click and I reward. Okay, from here we're going to tell him to stay. Gumbo, stay. Hold my hand up like a stop sign. Gumbo, stay. Gumbo here. Yes. Okay. So Gumbo knows also when I tell him to come here, as soon as his nose touches, he sits, and he is to stay there until I release him, again by saying okay. So the way that's going to look, I'll do it a little bit closer this time. Stay. Whoop. Gumbo. Gumbo, stay. Gumbo here. And you'll see he will sit, and he knows to stay there. Yes. Until he is released. I click that extra time. That's something I want you guys to do as well. When he's doing a behavior that you like, you're going to click and mark it. That just lets him know, hey, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. A reward is going to follow soon. So, good boy, Gumbo. Good boy. For the crate command, it's very similar to place. What we're going to do is we're going to walk over, say his name, point at the crate. You heard me say that, so I'm going to mark it. You beat me to it, buddy. You beat me to it. Okay. I will say one thing about the crate is typically that is the one thing that puppies in training kind of take a step back. They might be a little hesitant to step in the crate once they get to your home, simply because it's just a new smell, new scent, not one that they're familiar with. So those first couple days, if you need to cheat a little bit, just take a few pieces of his kibble, toss it in the back and say crate. Some puppies take a step back on that, some do perfectly fine and pick right up where they were. So that's just a little bit of advice on how to help, you know, if he's not going in your crate just because he's used to this crate. Okay, Gumbo, you can come out. Good boy. All right, so now I'll show you. Let's see. Gumbo, I didn't tell you. I didn't say it. Gumbo, here. Yes. Stay. Okay. Now, Gumbo, crate. Yes. So all we have to say, stay. All we have to say is Gumbo, crate. Okay? And he knows that he's to go in there and to stay there until he's released, which is, okay, you can come out. Go on. All right, so we'll go back here. In case you can't tell, he kind of likes his crate. Come over here. Sit. Yes. Stay. So again, it is Gumbo, crate. Stay. We would close him in there if we were closing him up for the night. For our loose leash walking, we're going to make sure that Gumbo is always on our left side. We're going to say Gumbo, heel. If he ever starts to pull, we're going to stop and make him come back to us. We don't ever want to continue walking if he is pulling. So it's going to look like this. Gumbo, heel. I'm going to do a quick recap on everything. I want you to see me work with him over all the commands kind of put together now that you understand the verbal cues and the hand signals. So I'm going to use this clip just to kind of go through all of the training commands at once. You ready? Gumbo, place. Stay. Gumbo, here. Yes. Down. Yes. Okay. Gumbo, sit. Yes. Gumbo, down. Gumbo, down. There we go. So you see right there that he took a second? Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause before I ask him to do again, because I want to give him the chance to think, okay, what is she asking? I'm going to repeat one more time, and then once he does it, then I mark the behavior. So, Gumbo, sit. Yes. Gumbo, down. Yes. straight. Yes. Okay. Gumbo here. Yes. Okay. Gumbo place. Gumbo. Place. Yes. Good boy. Stay. And we'll go over here one more time. Stay. Gumbo here. Yes. I just want to say thank you so much for choosing Southland Goldens for your next new family member. Gumbo is super smart, doing really well. I'm going to send a description of the schedule that he's on, as well as the amount of food that he's eating. Of course, if you guys have any questions once you get him along the way, we're always happy to answer them, help out in any way possible. But again, thank you so much, and we'll see you soon.